Hey everyone, my name is Milika and this is going to be my first ever video about Dragon Age, or my first ever video really. This video will be separated into two parts, video with spoilers and without spoilers. This one is without spoilers, so right now we're just going to dive into the fascinating world of Dragon Age. Well, at least the non-spoilery side of it. If you're new to Thedas or just need a refresher, after all it's been 10 years, you've come to the right place. So grab your snacks and drinks, settle in, and let's begin. So let's start with the basics first. So we're gonna talk about the franchise itself. So the Dragon Age franchise consists of 3 main games and 1 upcoming title. First, we have the Dragon Age Origins, or DAO, which was released in 2009. This is where it all began. It follows the story of the Grey Wardens, which we'll talk more about later. Second is Dragon Age 2, released in 2011. Here you play as a character called Hawk. Third one is Dragon Age Inquisition, or DAI. It was released in 2014 and you play as the Inquisitor. And last one, and the one that we've been looking forward to, is Dragon Age the Veilguard, or DATV. It used to be called Dragon Age Dreadwolf, or DAD, but it's still the same game. Now, you might be wondering, do you need to play the previous games to enjoy the ATV? The short answer is not necessarily. That's exactly why I'm here. The ATV is designed to be accessible to new players. The devs have told us all about that. The game will provide enough context to get you up to speed, even if you haven't played any of the 3 other games before this, and I'm here to prepare you for the lore dump they will eventually give you. Alright, let's start with the world itself. So it's called Thedas. This is the continent where all the Dragon Age action takes place. Fun fact, we don't actually know what the world is called, so we're just going to assume that it's called Thedas. But in reality, Thedas is just a continent, and most of the game story happens in the northern parts of Thedas. So where exactly are we exploring? Well, we've got a few key areas that we are pretty familiar with. So first we have Free Marches, which is a group of independent cities, and one of the more notable city is called Kirkwall. DA2, Dragon Age 2, takes place in Kirkwall. So if you play that game, you will see a lot of Kirkwall and the Free March. And Kingdom of Ferelden is next, or more commonly known as Ferelden in DAO, and most of the AI takes place in Ferelden's area. Some of the notable places are Redcliffe Village, which was often visited in both DAO and DAI. Denerim, which is the capital of Ferelden, and also we have Haven, which appeared in both DAO and DAI. The next one we have Orlais, or Orlesian Empire. So Orlais is basically more known for its intricate politics and also high fashion. So you can imagine France, but in Thedas. So some of the notable places are called Val Royal, which is the capital city. And then we have the Dales, which is the homeland of the elves, but we are not going to dive into the Dales for now. So again, Val Royal is the capital city of Orlais, or the Orlesian Empire. And next, so Dragon Age the Veilguard, where are we going? So we are going to be venturing into some of the less explored territories, like the Winter Imperium, which is a powerful mage-run empire. So remember that it's a mage-run empire. It is also home of the Imperial Chantry, as opposed to the Orlesian Chantry. We'll get back to this later. And after the winter, we have Rivain, which is a country that is almost wholly surrounded by water, and I believe that pirates are very common here. They are also apparently a matriarchal society. And we have Antiva next, which is known for its wine, sailing, and merchants, and also assassin. This is also the home country of our beloved Antivan crows, which is going to be a faction in Dragon Age the Veilguard. And the Antivan crows are the deadliest guild of assassins in Thedas. Navarra next, a kingdom that is famous for its death, necromancy, and also apparently history of dragon hunting. So yeah, we're gonna see more about these four places: Tevinter, Rivain in Antiva, and also Navarra in Dragon Age the Veilguard. Next, we have got to talk about the calendar. In the Dragon Age game, time is marked by the different ages, like Bronze Age, Stone Age, but in Thedas it's called the Dragon Age. This era is actually named after the first high dragon sighted in Chantry, something that you will actually encounter and probably fight in the ATV. So the calendar uses a very simple format, which is X:\Y. The X represents the age they're in, and then the Y is the actual year. So for example, the Dragon Age is the 9th age, so 901 would be the first year of the Dragon Age. So a little bit of a context in timeline. The AO Dragon Age Origins takes place in 930 to 31, and the A2 Dragon Age 2 occurs around the same time as the AO. The AI, however, is set in 941, the same as the ATV. Not the same, the ATV will be set around 10 years after that, so probably around 951 or something like that. So yes, next up we have got to talk about the races. So we all know that this is a fantasy game. It's going to be pretty diverse in terms of races. There's not going to be just humans. Of course, there's still going to be humans, but there's also elves. For elves, they are split into two main groups. First, we have the city elves, which lives in cities just like humans do. They live in the places called alienage, and they are somewhat oppressed. That's all I can say about the elf. And the more mysterious one is called the Dalish elf, which lives in camps and aravals. They live in the wilds, they live in the forests, and they maintain their ancient tradition of worshipping the ancient elven gods. And they also practice a coming of age ritual where you have to have blood tattoos of symbols of their elven god, and these tattoos are called Valaslin. They are usually tattooed on the face. And next we have the dwarves. They are a hardy race, as we all know. They are known for impressive skills in mining and also crafting. I know they are literally just Minecraft players, but fun facts, dwarves cannot be mages, so there's a big reason for that, but we'll save it for another day. And basically for dwarves, there are dwarves that live underground, and there's also surface dwellers. Next we have Kunari. So these guys are huge and imposing with horns. So the reason why they have horns is, I believe, because they have dragon's blood mixed in their blood. That's why they have horns, and their culture is deeply tied to their strict belief or philosophy known as the Kyun, hence the name Kunari. And for Kunari that no longer lives in the Kyun or follows the Kyun, they are called a Talvasot. And you can basically think of them as the fantasy equivalent of tieflings, but with a bit of a different twist. So now let's talk about magic and mages. In Thedas, magic is both revered and also feared, but mostly feared. Mages are often kept under strict controls in places called the Circle of Magi, or just the circle, and they're kind of like magical jails. Not really magical, but they're jails, ensuring that the mages don't go rogue, or they don't abandon abandon their circles. We'll delve more into this later, but just know that mages play a huge role in the world's politics and also conflicts, as well as the plot of Dragon Age. Mages who go rogue are called apostates. The circle of magi is again a little bit different in the winter, because in the winter mages are not oppressed, they rule instead, which is the exact opposite in Orlais or Ferelden. Speaking of control, there's a major religious force in Thedas, as I've mentioned before. We call it the Orlesian Chantry, or usually just the Chantry. The Chantry follows the belief in the Maker, or their god. The Maker's prophet is called Andraste, which is a woman, and the belief is also sometimes called Andrastianism, after the prophet. The Chantry is led by a central figure known as the Divine, which is some kind of like their pope. Usually the Divine is women, but in the winter, as I've mentioned before, since they have a different branch of Chantry, they have a male divine or black divine as opposed to Orlais' white one. So this has nothing to do with their races. So black divine and white divine are usually just used not by them but by their opposites. So usually the white one calls the others the black one, and then the black one usually calls the others the white one, or something like that. And then the Chantry also has its own order of Templars, or the Templar orders. Their main job is to basically guard the Chantry, guard the people there, and then also guard the mages. So they're more like the magical police, but their jobs can be pretty controversial because Templars are usually afraid of mages, and fear usually breeds hatred or something like that. Let's talk about Lyrium. So Lyrium is a powerful and dangerous mineral found underground in Thedas. It is mostly mined by dwarves. Why? Because dwarves are the only people who can safely mine it, and they use Lyrium for a lot of things actually. So from crafting to potions, and also in the game itself, in the gameplay, Lyrium potions are super important because they help mages recharge their mana or their MP. And yes, Templars also use Lyrium, but in a different way from the mages, and that is also a whole other topic that we should explore another time. And then lastly, we have the Inquisition. So it's very hard to talk about the Inquisition without talking about spoilers, since the third game of the Dragon Age franchise is literally talking about Inquisition. But basically, the Inquisition started as an independent group, but eventually became allied with the Chantry like ages ago. It then split into the Seekers of Truth and the Templar Order. Now, though we don't see much of or about them in Dragon Age Origins and Dragon Age 2, I might be wrong. They are pretty central to the story of Dragon Age Inquisition, as the name might suggest, because the old Inquisition was reformed by the right hand of the Divine Cassandra with the help of the left hand of the Divine Liliana to tackle a massive threat, which is a giant hole in the sky that is causing chaos across Thedas. So the main goal in Dragon Age Inquisition is closing that giant hole in the sky, and that leads us to Dragon Age the Veilguard story. And actually that is it for the non-spoiler overview of Dragon Age lore. I hope this gives you a good sense of the world building, its key elements. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the world of Dragon Age, because I would love to make more video on this. And if you're eager for more detailed lore, stay tuned for our spoiler-filled breakdown next time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!